and welcome to Sharon Roberts on the sofa. Today we're doing a range of interviews, and as you can see, we're actually not on sofas, we're actually on the chairs. But first of all, before we begin and I introduce my guest, I just want to say a really big thank you to Stapleford Park and House and Homes and Estate for giving us this beautiful premises for the day to do the filming in. So thank you so much. And my first guest for today is the amazing, talented actress who is soon off to LA, Amy Kinder. Amy, thank you so much for giving up your time and your energy today.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. I know it's been a long trip, hasn't it, to get you here this morning?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah, on and off, yeah.
Yeah, compared to what you're going to be doing in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I have got a range of questions to go through. So first of all, for those people who don't know you, so I've got you down as an international award-winning actress, and your trademark is martial arts.
Yeah.
So you specialise in martial arts,
Mm-hmm.
and you're also going off to work in LA. But
Yeah.
for the viewers back home and our audience, do you want to just give us a little bit of a summary of you, where you are at the moment?
Yeah, so I am award-winning. I won an award last year for just my overall acting, not for a specific piece of or film. I do martial arts. I've always been a martial artist. I currently train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I sometimes use that in roles where I need to. I'm a guitarist as well. I wouldn't say I'm international yet, but I am going to LA in May this year. So
You're on the verge of becoming international in a way.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about what you're going to be doing out there, because I know are you going to be filming on the Paramount set and Warner Brothers set?
Yeah,
or?
so it's for a TV series, and I play a series regular, and we're filming at Warner Brothers, Paramount Pictures, and LA Center Studios. So.
And your passion and your hobby is obviously acting and martial arts. How did those two come together?
Martial arts has always been one, like ever since I was 5 years old. I was doing judo, karate, and then I moved on to boxing, and then I did Muay Thai, and then I ended up with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Acting I've always been an actor. I've always been a performer, which it's funny. I always used to like pretend to be an occupation when I was tiny, and I didn't even realise I was acting as a kid. But yeah, I've always been a performer as well. I did like magic tricks in front of my whole family, and I just enjoyed being sort of the centre of attention at times. But it wasn't until I started drama in secondary school that I realised I really wanted to do it, because I enjoyed it. But I put it away because it's such a hard industry, you know, it's too competitive. I was like, this isn't a real job for me. And then I lost my dad, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to live my dream now, because if I don't, I'll never get the chance again. So
You've used, and you speak really openly and so bravely about losing a parent. That is tough in itself anyway, but you've used your experiences as a driving force to pursue a career in acting. When did you actually get into acting then?
So professionally, end of 2015, which was a year and a bit after I lost my dad, yeah.
And in such a short time scale, you've gone from just getting into it in 2015 to now flying out to the US, not just to the US, but to the capital of, you know, of where the actors live, network, socialise.
But I think with acting is you just have to go for it. You just have to. You have to put yourself out there, or they're not going to know you. And that's what I kind of wanted to do from the start, and that's what ended up happening. So.
But where does that passion and that drive come from? At such a young age? Because, you know, there's also, you must have to face so many challenges just to get to where you are in the first place.
Yeah, but I think it's my dad, to be honest. The fact is it woke me up because you don't know when you're going to go. You don't, and we're spoiled with the idea that we're going to live for years and years and years, and our parents are going to live for years and years, but it's not true, and you don't know when your last day is, so you have to live for the moment. You have to do what you enjoy, because otherwise you are wasting your life. And it's hard, and it's like a scary thing, because it's such a big leap of faith, and you don't know if it's going to pay off or not, and you don't know when it's going to pay off or not, but eventually you just have to take it, because if you're constantly living a safe life, that's not living, it's just existing.
If you had to choose one film that really motivates you or really inspires you, would you be able to pick, or what would be your top 3?
Pursuit of Happiness, because it shows the relationship of a dad to a child. That resonated for me, because it's like, I know my dad and my mum would do anything to look after me, and they have. I take a lesson from every film I watch, so every film really.
Okay. And what kind of commitment does it take to pursue your dreams? I mean, have you had to make sacrifices? Because
Yeah,
you've also,
absolutely.
you know, you've also got the martial arts as well, haven't you? Which in itself, just as the martial arts helped with the discipline? Has it given you that form of discipline and that kind of focus?
It's given me a distraction, and it's given me a family. My like where I train, my dojo is my second home, and the people who train with me are my second family, and that's like invaluable. You know, it's like such an amazing thing. But I think basically, like, you just, I don't know, you just have to go for it, and you just, yeah.
And what does the future look like for you in a way? What would you like to see happening more? What do you want to get involved in more?
Doing what I love until I die. That's it. I'm not someone who wants all this fame and all this money. Like, sure, that's something that comes with it, and I kind of expect if I get to a level, if I get to a certain level, then that's what's going to come. But I don't do it for that. I don't think anyone should do it for that.
And do you think it's really important for young people maybe to look at how they can get involved in acting as a way of a coping mechanism?
Yeah, it's funny. I used to do classes at the Bristol Vic, and you would see these certain kids who would be so shy, and you're like, why are you, an acting class? This is where you put yourself out there. And by a few weeks, they'd come out their shells, they'd be performing, they'd be loving it, and it's such a amazing thing. Like, you don't have to do acting because you want to be an actor. You can do it to build your confidence, because it does. Because you're doing something that no one else does. You know, normal people don't shout like maniacs and get applauded for it. So yeah, it's a cool thing to try. Really, try it. You might love it. You might be good at it.
And how do you cope with that kind of rejection as well? Because people see the actors on the screen. We go to the movies, we watch the films, we come out, and they touch us or they make us feel different. But I think sometimes we kind of forget what that person or that character goes through just to get that part in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Most people just see an actor. I see someone who got called to say that they got the part, and I see 100 others who didn't get the call, basically. It's something that you have to deal with. You get rejection in life as well. People fear rejection because they believe it's a personal thing. You know, I don't like you because of whatever, because you can't act or whatever. But it's actually more that you just didn't fit the image of the casting director had in his mind, or you just like have blonde hair and they're looking for brunette. I don't know. It's like you can't know.
And for you, are you allowed to tell us about what it was like to get the call back for this project that you're working on?
Yeah. So with the Emergency LA, the TV series, I had Skyped with them, I'd spoken to them, done a little like thing for them, and then they sort of say, okay, congratulations, you know, we'd like to have you for the part, check your IMDb, and the website IMDb, and I went on it and I saw that I had 6 episode credits, and I was just freaked out. It was like a pinch me moment. Yeah, it was amazing.
So what advice would you give to other people who want to get into acting and maybe just a little bit scared or worried too much about what other people will think?
You're always going to have that fear, I guess. So embrace it. Embrace that your family are going to find it weird at first, and your friends are going to be like, why do you want to do it? But listen to yourself. Listen to your gut. I always think the heart tells you what you want to do, and your gut tells you if it's the right thing. So you should listen to both equally. But yeah, have a go. You're never going to know if you don't try. Have a go, see if you like it. If you do, go for it. Life is way too short to not do something you want to do.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, but for someone at such a young age, it's like you've got so much knowledge, so much experience.
I don't.
You know, it's like you are a walking bag of information, but also it's like you've got this philosophy head on you as well, on your shoulders. And you try to help so many other people, don't you? Because you've also created, is it a motivational?
Yeah, so it was just
Facebook something. Do you want to explain a little bit more about that?
Actors obviously go, as you mentioned, through a lot of rejection, and I know that can be sometimes like heartbreaking for certain actors. So I made a little group on Facebook where I just post a nice quote or some information about, you know, a famous actor who didn't get the part, and you know, it puts it into perspective that sometimes it just won't happen, and that's okay.
So you're already supporting other actors. You're encouraging other people to live their dreams.
Absolutely. 100%.
And you're also, let's face it, because if you're in this world of show business, you must have come across people who can dislike you, let's put it politely, in a nice way. How do you manage and cope with that?
Well, you've got to ask yourself, why are they making like hatred comments towards you? Sometimes it will be simply because they don't like you. And that brings me on to the point of, you can't please everyone. It's impossible, and wasting your time and energy is just a waste of time and energy. And so don't try to please everyone. As I said, it's impossible. You will get your haters. It shows you're doing something right. It puts you on the track of, these people have seen my work. These people perhaps like it, but they don't want to show it. I think there's this thing where when people are successful or nearing success, people want to stop it dead in its tracks, which is a bad thing. But as humans, you know, jealousy can take over, and it can be like, wow, they're so close to, you know, going to LA, I want to stop it. Or they're so close to accomplishing something big. Why can't it be me? Why can't I do it? So why should they have it? And there's this like spiteful energy that people put towards you, but you have to ignore it. You have to. Someone else's opinion doesn't have to become the way you live your life.
Wow, that is an incredible way to end, and that is just incredible. You know, I think you yourself and what you're going to do out there is just incredible, and your age and everything else, and all that LA will bring to you, and how much you'll change. Are you worried at all about how you'll be in the public eye, how others will perceive you, or you're just going to you sound like a duck, you know, in a nice way. It's not like you're going to quack, but just like you're going to, it's just going to wash it away, really. Yeah,
like, as I said, I don't do it for that. I just want to encourage people to be who they are and not to be ashamed of it at any point of their lives. Like, we're not perfect, and that's okay. Embrace it, you know, don't hide it. But I'm not worried, no. What happens, happens. I'm along on this ride to see what happens and to experience my life, you know, and I'll cross the bridges when I come to them.
Amy, it's been absolutely brilliant having you today. Thoroughly loved it. But there's one final question I've got to ask you before we finish.
Okay.
And the question is, do you think you could ditch technology for a week or give it up?
No.
Okay.
Never. I rely on it, but in a good way. Like, that's how I network, that's how I source jobs, motivate others. I think the internet is such a great resource, and you'd be silly not to use it to its full capabilities. So.
And how would you encourage other people to use it more then? Because you've obviously used it to get yourself out there.
Just do research. There's so many websites. Obviously, there's false information and there's scams out there, but if you're looking for an answer, the internet will have it in one way or the other. Do your research. Try and find out exactly what you're looking for, you know. Try and find, if you're researching a company, research the people who own it, the people who run it, all that kind of thing. Because it does pay off when you get into the audition room. It pays off when you're talking to them as an individual. And it's just nice to be able to do research and, you know, expand your knowledge.
Well, look forward to you expanding your knowledge. So it's when we interview you again in the future, when you're holding up your award, it'd be interesting, you know, to see how much more and what you've done and what you've achieved. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, that as a parent, I'm sure your dad, if he was alive, would be so proud of you, because not only have you stuck to your dreams, you've put things and you've made things happen, and you've been really focused and really driven through some really tough times and tough circumstances, and that takes lots of guts, lots of courage. And I really hope that the people watching this, and thanks for today, see this and see Amy as an inspiration to follow your dreams, do what you need to do, don't let other people get in your way, and just make it happen. So it's been great interviewing you. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for watching, and we look forward to more interviews in the future with Amy. Thank you.
Thank you.